Hello and welcome to the look ahead for Tuesday, the 30th of April, with me, Fiona Sincota, Senior Market Analyst at City Index. So overnight, we've got some figures from Japan, namely retail sales and industrial production. We've also got Chinese manufacturing, PMI. In the European session, we'll be watching German retail sales as well as Q1 GDP from Germany and Eurozone inflation figures. In the US, we'll be looking at US consumer confidence data. As far as earnings are concerned, we've also got Amazon tomorrow, as well as other big names such as HSBC and Coca-Cola. So just kicking off really with what we're expecting from Europe. As I said, the focus is going to be very much on Eurozone inflation. Now that's expected to cool to 2.6%, down from 2.9% year on year in March. The data comes after we saw cooler than expected inflation in Germany today, which held steady at 2.2%, defying expectations of an increase to 2.3%. Now, the data comes as we're sort of seeing signs that the Eurozone economy is starting to turn a corner, and GDP data from Germany tomorrow might also support that view. However, nothing's really looking likely to knock the Eurozone off track from cutting interest rates in June. That's going to potentially make the Eurozone, the ECB, one of the first major central banks to cut interest rates. Now, just having a look here, this is the Euro USD chart that we've got watching here. Now, we see the Euro US dollar has managed to pick up from the April low, which is also the 2024 low of 106. It's risen above the 107 level, where it's just hovering above that level right now. The buyers haven't really managed to push above last week's high, which was 107.50. That's going to be the line that buyers are going to need to really push above in order to extend gains towards the 200 SMA and that round number of 108. But just looking here, the Euro US dollar that does trade within a downward trending chart. So there is a potential that we could see downward trending channel. There is a potential that we could see a further sell-off if we see that the price falls back below that 107 level. Now, if we're back below 107, watch out for the 106.40 before we look back towards that 106 on the downside. Now, just going back, what else we'll be watching? We'll be watching, as I said, some Japanese data overnight. Now, retail sales are expected to rise 2.2%. That's after rising 4.6% in February. And industrial production is expected to slow, coming in at negative 6.6%, down from negative 3.9%. Now, these figures come after the Bank of Japan lowered its growth forecast for the Japanese economy. And we're sort of seeing this already come through with these weaker figures. We've also seen that that inflation in Tokyo was also weaker than expected. Now, here we're looking at the US dollar Japanese yen chart. We've got this big spiky movement today after a suspected intervention by Japanese authorities. So we can see that price ticked higher up to that 160 level, which is broadly considered the line in the sand for Japanese authorities. It appears that did spark a movement or an intervention, although they haven't there's been no formal comment about it. Now, that sell-off did actually find support there at the 155 level. It's trading now around the 156.80. It's still in overbought territory, so potentially we could see some more consolidation at this level. I think on the downside, support near term would be at the 155.80, which is that rising trend line support, which goes all the way back to summer last year. If we do get a break below that, then obviously 155 comes into focus. And below that, you've got the 152 level. On the upside, if we can get a move over the 158.50, that was Friday's high, then we could see another move towards 160. What else we're watching? I mentioned that we had Chinese data expected overnight. We've got Chinese manufacturing PMIs, the Caixin PMI. That's expected actually to show a slight slowdown in Chinese manufacturing from 51.1 last month, which was actually stronger than expected, to 51. Also be the official figures. You've got the services official figures. They're expected to show again a slight slowdown in growth to 52.2, down from 53. And manufacturing, again, the official figures are supposed to show a slowdown from 50.8 to 50.3. This chart that we're looking at here is the FTSE. See, it's a very heavy weight in the miners, which are often impacted by metal prices, depending on what's happening in China. So we've also had this big story regarding Anglo-American and BHP looking to buy out Anglo-American. So obviously any updates regarding that story could potentially drive miners as well. The latest was that Anglo-American have rejected the £31 billion bid by BHP. But I think investors are potentially expecting that BHP could make another offer as the share price still remains elevated. Finally, also got HSBC results coming in overnight. So that's going to potentially impact the banking sector. Again, rather heavyweight on the FTSE. Just as far as the FTSE chart is concerned, we can see that breakout above the 8,000 level. That helped the FTSE extend gains to a fresh record high today, just below 8,200. It's eased back from that fresh all-time high, and it's currently trading around the 8150 level. Now, as far as sort of, and that's just bringing the RSI out of overbought territory. You know, buyers might look to sort of try and get over that 8200 level to look towards the 83 level, but just look at that long upper wick on the today's candle. That does suggest there wasn't much buying demand at those upper levels. As far as support is concerned, on the downside, I'd be looking for support around the 8080, which was Friday's low, and then below there 8,000. Just finally, we don't have a huge amount going on in the US as far as the economic data is concerned. We do obviously have earnings from Amazon after the close. These are going to be really in focus, particularly after the volatility that we saw on the back of tech earnings last week. Just think at the we saw a massive sell-off after Meta actually beat forecasts but concerned the markets about its spending plans. And then we saw a strong rally on Friday after upbeat numbers from Alphabet and Microsoft. Now, as far as Amazon is concerned, focus is going to be very much on Amazon Web Services and the performance there, which is expected to keep to drive growth in the company. And now this is the Dow Jones that we're watching. We can see that the share price has managed to pick up from that April low that was at the 37,230. It's extended higher. It's just trying to really break above the 100 SMA at the moment, which is offering a bit of resistance, and that's around the 38,300 level. If we get a break above here, then we'll be looking to test 38,550. That was last week's high, before looking towards the 39 level. On the downside, failure to really break above that 100 SMA meaningfully could see the price test 38,000 round number. Below that, we'll be looking back towards that 37,230 level again. I hope you liked what you have seen here, and if you have, then please do give this video a like, and if you would like to receive more videos like this, then please do subscribe.